Hi there. Yes, I did change my hair. I like it a lot. I wasn't sure at first, but now that it's all vintagey, I like it. I like it a lot. This week, I'm making a very classy, or well, at least that's kind of how I'm viewing it. It's very, I don't know, just something about this dress that I'm making this week is just really ladylike. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's French. I'm making a very French dress. like a French design. All the instructions are in French. So I don't speak French, but I'm never much of an instruction reader anyway, so I've already got to work on this a little bit. I've got the pattern put together and cut out, and I've cut out the fabric, and this fabric is gorgeous. This is the dress that I'm working with. You see it has like gathering up on the shoulders. The way that it's done here, I honestly don't really think I have the skill to do what is done here. So, and the instructions are, like I said, in French, and I also don't speak French. It was clear in the instructions that I need to gather little bits up here and down here, and I've done that. It's kind of hard to see, I think. It's open in the front. Oh, and last week's terrible flop is underneath it, but buttons will go here, and so I don't need to worry about like getting my head through the top because it'll just button up and down. I was about to say it didn't say anything about this in the instructions, but I wouldn't know that because they're in French. Since this is such a thoroughly French pattern, I am only going to use French seams when I put pieces together. There is also like a belt involved in this pattern. In the drawings they have like different belts added, but there was actually a pattern piece for a belt. So basically I cut that piece out, and then I will have a little fabric belt, and I do have little belt buckles. Like I have like some really deco looking ones that I've gotten at antique stores, and I have mother of pearl buckles. I think the belt will be really simple to make, and it would just add like a really special, unique feature to the dress. And I've never made my own belt before, so this should be interesting. But yeah, that's what I have for now. I'll be doing some stitching today. Hello, it's the next day. Here is the dress so far, looking already very gorgeous and beautiful and pretty. I don't think I mentioned anything about this yet. I just want to say that this fabric is beautiful. I mean, the print is beautiful, of course. Can you tell that it's not what I usually work with? You know, can you see that it's so flowy? I think it's just me. I think I got a little misled by the drawing. I pictured the skirt being a little different, like somehow more flare at the bottom, when really it's just kind of A-line, and that's okay. It's just the drawing was kind of misleading. I have gathers here and here. I added some here and here, even though it doesn't explicitly say in all, well, I can't really tell what it explicitly says because it's all in French. I've sort of gathered that I need to gather in certain places. The bodice and the skirt both kind of gather in the same areas, and I am going to have to gather it a little bit more, I'm finding out. I'm trying to fit it to the dress form because I think that will fit me. I also gathered it right here on the back, just a little bit, and then it had these gathers already in the back on the skirts. Right now, my next order of business is to gather these, and then I'm going to iron. I actually haven't ironed at all with this project yet because I've been using the French seam method, so I have not had to iron at all. And but I will have to get the iron out to hem down these separate parts because this is the side where the closure is going to be on. I guess I still need to decide if I'm going to attach the bodice and the skirt to this belt, which is really just how the top and bottom are going to be joined together. I don't know if I want to put this over everything or if I'm going to make it like separate. I might just go over it. I don't know if that makes sense. Buttons will go down here. I'm going to try to dig out some more buttons and look at my options a little bit more, but I might use these to go down the front. I think I might need 4 buttons. Well, in the illustration there are 5, so I'll look at that. I'll take a closer look at that. I just needed to check in and talk to you about the sleeves. So I've been putting the sleeves together, and this is the pattern cutout for the sleeves. I've never made a sleeve like this before. It's very unique, and I like it. They are really pretty so far. So I've gathered this part and this part, and then I stitched together, I folded it and then stitched it. So it makes a nice little puff. I have one on here, which you can't really see. I don't have it actually attached yet. Can you tell what it I really like how it's like that. Should or should I not try to make little shoulder pads? Because I feel like it might go with the vibe of this dress really well. I might cross over into shoulder pad territory this week. Hi, I'm just gonna check in really quick because I am chugging along like a choo-choo train. I made the belt, very cute, I know. This is the belt buckle I decided to go with. It's mother of pearl. It was super easy to make this too. What I did was I prepared this band. I stitched it onto this, and yeah. And this actually stays on, it's surprising. I've done a lot of hemming, and I'm about to do the buttons. That's why I wanted to check in. Okay, that's adorable. And I'm realizing now, okay, so I wanted to use 5 buttons and not 4. So I had to kind of search for 5 of the same buttons, and I found these that I got at an antique store for $1. Look, they have a little 1930s lady on the packaging. Very cute! So I'm going to use the 5 down here. There are 2 random ones up there, but I'm going to use these 5. And they're going to match the mother of pearl belt buckle. I don't know if these are mother of pearl, but it's a very similar look. So those will be put down here. And I know earlier I was talking about using this thing. I prepared it, like I kind of stitched it, and I prepared it to put on here, like where the bodice meets the skirt, you know, to cover up some like little frays that are sticking out from the French seam. But this belt, as you can see, already does that. So I'm just not going to add more work than I need to do. And these sleeves are depicted in the drawing as being gathered around the arm, but I think I'm just gonna leave them the way they are because I kind of like them how they are. I think it has a lot to do with this fabric. So if this dress were made out of cotton, I would probably want to pinch them in on the sides. But because of this flowy fabric, I don't really feel the need to do that. I need to be using this fabric a lot more. Like this kind of fabric. I forget the name, but it costs a little bit more than cotton, but I think it is worth the investment because I think that this material is a lot more true to what would have been used back then, you know, to make dresses like these of this style. I'm really excited about this. I like it a lot. No. Oh, this new dress has given me a new personality. So I love this dress. I obviously have a hat that goes with it. I have my little gloves on, my little hat, and my little clip-on earrings, my little Remix vintage shoes. I'm really loving this experience of wearing this. As you can see, the dress turned out really, really well. And I know I mentioned that I might put shoulder pads in it, but I actually think it works totally fine without any shoulder pads. I think one of the biggest things that made this dress such a success for me was this fabric choice. I have had this fabric sitting in my sewing closet for a long, long time, okay? Like a year, okay? And I knew I always intended on using it, but I just didn't know exactly what dress I was gonna use it for. And this was a perfect decision to use it now. I'm just so happy with this. I love my little belt. I love even the buttons, they look really good. I've decided they probably are mother of pearl. Something I didn't mention earlier, but something that's kind of exciting about my sewing lately is that I figured out that I can hand stitch buttonholes a lot easier with embroidery floss. Is that something that a bunch of people know about, or like did I just like come up with this amazing trick for hand stitching around buttonholes because I'm too intimidated to learn how to do it on my machine? I mean, but I just hand stitched around 5 buttonholes with embroidery floss, and it took me a small amount of time. I am just very happy with how this project has turned out. This dress, really, honestly, I feel so good about this dress. I think the accessories really take it to another level as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I actually enjoyed making this dress. Making dresses is generally a predictable process for me, but it had a few intricacies that made it just a little bit interesting without being stressful. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.